Hello, everyone. This is Amy of AJC Magic TV. I welcome you to the stream um, on this kind of chilly, cool February Wednesday. Just hanging out, gonna talk about some Universal stuff. We can play some games if that's what you like to do. And I'll just hang out here till we see if anybody hops in onto the stream. Sorry about that. When I first started, I accidentally hit the welcome in Penguin Master, welcome in Mike Klemovich. Thank you for joining. I'm Amy of AJC Magic TV. Usually I sometimes will do trivia, Lego streams, talk about Disney, talk about Orlando, also do shopping hauls, hopefully next week. But next week I'll have my new Wishables for this It's a Small World, so we'll unveil them. Um, I should have grabbed the one pins that I had gotten. I got some new pins, so sometimes I show them. So I do welcome you to the stream. Sometimes I do trivia. I was going to talk a little bit about, I know everyone loves Disney and stuff, but yesterday, friends of mine were at Universal, and I always enjoyed Universal. We'll just talk a little bit about that, and then we'll move on and maybe play some trivia games and everything like that. So, welcome in. I just ordered my It's a Small World Wishables. I'm so excited. I want the whole set. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be able to get the whole set too. Um, that's the only drawback of ordering from Shop Disney is you don't get to really feel the bags like if they had them in the store or if you're at the parks or one of the stores down in Orlando. But welcome in, Will the Hitchhiking Bones. Thank you for joining. I was looking for my paper, see if I can find a little tablet. I had it here the other day. But hang on one moment. But yeah, so hopefully I'll get the whole set. I bought 5 bags. I bought the open one, which is the kangaroo. Welcome in, Elena. Aloha. K808 Elena. Aloha. Um, welcome in, Shelly Starwalker. Thank you for joining today. We got the kangaroo and 4 mystery wishable bags today. Yeah, I bought 5 mystery bags, hoping that if I got a double, that I somehow end up with maybe all 4 of them. If not, then I'll be looking to probably trade some with people. I'm hoping my Disney store will get them so I can go and check out the bags and stuff. But I did get the open edition kangaroo and then 5 bags of the wishables on the It's a Small World ones. I wasn't going to give them, but then I thought, what the heck? I missed out on the transportation ones because I didn't think I would like them. And then when I saw a video that This Our Dreams did, I thought, oh, they look pretty neat. Plus, then watching Jenna at the Mouse Garrison one day checking around, she was trying to find the monorail one. But I did like the transportation ones, but then I was thinking I really wasn't too crazy about them ones. So, but these ones seem pretty neat. The cactus, the penguin, also the clock face, and I forget what the 4th one was. So hopefully I'll get close to getting almost all of them. I actually have 2 sets of the Aladdin ones. I may give away a set of them, or whatever extras I have. I may do a giveaway there with that or trade if people are looking for them. Yes, the hippo. Yeah, the hippo with the wonky eyes on It's a Small World. But I was planning on a little bit talking about Universal Studios. I know I love Disney, and usually that's what brings me to Orlando. And then I do venture at least 1 or 2 days to Universal Studios. I know yesterday Russ and Dis Our Dreams, Ange and Jeff and the kids all went. You need the lamp from Aladdin. I'll have to see. I think I might have an extra one of them, Will. So I'll check and see what I have here. Welcome in, Mike Wheeler. No problem, Mike. Um, and then if we have time, we'll play a little bit of the 21st century trivia game. So we'll do a little bit of that. Last week's winner was Daniel of Disinfinity, and second place was It's Joey's World. I meant to grab the pins that I got. They had like mystery box key pins, and it had Tigger, and one was Mickey Mouse. I can't. I know the Tigger, Mickey Mouse. I think Toy Story, and I forget what the other one was, but I did get them all. So I'll have to get those out for next week also. So hopefully my wishables will be in. But what made me kind of think about Universal? I know I was looking at it at their Instagram posts, and I'm in no way making fun of Ange and them and saying, hey, oh, you should go there, you should go there. But I can also understand the ticket prices. They are a little bit cheaper than Disney, unless you want to park hop, and especially if you want to see the Harry Potter stuff and ride Hogwarts Express, you have to buy the park to park ticket. Usually a 1 day ticket is a little bit more, but if you buy more out, and I guess the way why I'm thinking that sometimes they're cheaper is sometimes if you buy 2 days, they'll give you a third or fourth day free, or if you buy 3 days, you might get 4 days free, or an extra day free on their tickets. I know their annual passes are a little bit cheaper. It just depends on what size annual pass you get, and just different benefits and stuff like that. I know when they first opened, I was an annual pass holder for Universal, and that was back in the 90s. So I've been going to Universal since 1990. I will say, if you're not a thrill ride person, it may not be some place that you want to check out. It is nice if you could check it out at least one time, and especially if you can find discounted tickets through their website. A lot of times they have I know some various businesses sell their tickets. I know some companies have, I don't know if they still do, but I know some companies have different places where you can get tickets through them. And if you want to check it out, they do have some nice shows on at least on the original park, which is the Universal side, and then they have Islands of Adventure. Islands of Adventure is more the thrill park, although they have added various things on both sides. It is a lot of screens and different things like that. So on a lot of their different rides, I know a lot of people don't like the screen type of things, but a lot of it is like a lot of 3D effects and stuff like that. But like I said, I've been going since it first opened, when the original ET is still there, and I think that's like one of the only ride that's left from the original opening of the park, because they used to have Jaws, which is now Diagon Alley, and the Harry Potter area for that area. Um, King Kong, now it's Mummy, the Mummy ride. So if you have smaller children, it may not be worth really going, especially if they're not tall enough for a lot of the stuff. Because, like I said, a lot of it's a lot of thrill rides, or you get in like for Transformers and Spider-Man. It's kind of the same type of thing where it's a 3D um, car type ride through the ride, and you battle in the Transformers, the bad guys in that, and of course in Spider-Man on Islands of Adventure, you're battling the Green Goblin and everything. So, but it's hard to say. Is it worth it? I guess if I lived in Orlando, I probably would definitely have the annual pass all the time. They do special events all year long. Of course, they are extra tickets. Welcome in, Garrett, the Monarch Moments family, Garrett, and if Michelle and Hannah and Gabe are listening. um, they do have different things throughout the year. Usually in February, March, and sometimes April, depending on how Easter falls, they do Mardi Gras. This year, I'm not sure how they'll do Mardi Gras, but I think I read where they're going to have a food festival and stuff like that. And I'm sure they're probably going to do what they did at Christmas time, where they had the tribute store, and then they opened up another backstage area that showed like the Macy's floats and Santa Claus and stuff. So they'll probably have an area like that for Mardi Gras back on the soundstage area and stuff. But the normal times, the Mardi Gras is an actual nighttime parade, and they have a concert on the weekends that are included in your tickets. Then, like I said, Christmas time they do the Grinchmas and the Macy's Day Parade. Sometimes welcome in, this our dreams. Besides the parks, do I miss Orlando? Yes and no, Monarch Garrett. Yes and no. When I lived there, do you like the city in general living there? Um, when I lived there, it was different than it is now. Yeah, there was always traffic and stuff like that. I lived more towards downtown Orlando than if I would move back there. I know I would not live where I lived before. I would probably live closer to the parks areas, although prices are a lot more and everything like that. It was fun to live there. I always felt though that I was on vacation when I was there, just because like my 2 days off, I could get to the beach, whether I went to Tampa, and that area is Tampa, St. Pete, or Daytona Beach, or Cocoa Beach, and stuff. I could go to the beaches. I went to the Kennedy Space Center. Um, I never really went down further south. The further south I went was Melbourne Beach because I had relatives that actually lived there. Um, and Tampa, St. Pete was the furthest I went south on the Gulf Coast. And I did do one cruise out of there, out of Cape Canaveral. But I think it would be different living there now because I know a lot more people in the area. And not that I would be bugging them all the time, but at least there would be times to say, hey, what are you doing Saturday or Sunday? Or, if they had time, probably see them in the parks or downtown Disney or Disney Springs. Welcome in, Captain Ikron. Um, thank you for joining. Um, it is a lot crowdeder traffic wise. Because I will say there are times I do have relatives that live in the area, and there have been times where I used to go down in the throughout my time period. That's why I became an annual pass holder because I could stay at their house. They live close to Disney. Probably the furthest out they were ever was 25 minutes, and that was due to traffic on 192. And and I could be at the parks, don't have to worry about paying for parking and everything. And there was times that I missed, like, boy, I wouldn't mind living here, but I was hanging out with my relatives and stuff like that. Okay, Mike, no problem. Enjoy your food, your dinner. Um, but when I lived there in early 90s, it was a little bit different. I did have some distant relatives. They invited me to their house for the holidays and different things like that. But I always didn't want to intrude either at times. And I did have a small group of friends of people, but a lot of times my time was hanging out with other people that was on my day off. Welcome in, Katrina Scopini, and hitting up the other parks or different things. I went to SeaWorld, I went to Universal. Um, I did all the parks as a cast member. You could get into the parks. I went to the beaches. I kept myself busy. And then there was times where, I was doing real life or I went to the movies or whatever. So it was a little bit different. And one of the things when I worked at Disney, since I worked in the culinary area and stuff like that, I always got one meal paid for. So I never had to worry about having like breakfast, lunch, if depending on what shift I was on, I would always have at least one meal at Disney, so at their commissary for cast members and stuff. So, I mean, I would eat at home and everything like that, but I didn't have to worry about a lot of the time. So, and then I'd go hang out at the resorts or go eat at the resorts or something, depending on what I was doing. but but with Universal, I watched it grow. They didn't have the big parking garages and everything until they decided to build City Walk, and then they built their garages and City Walk. Um, there's a lot of hotels there now. When I first stayed at Universal, they only had the three hotels, which was the Royal Pacific, Hard Rock, and Portofino Bay Resort. Now they have the like Cabana Bay. They have Sapphire Falls. That's still closed for them. Aventura. I know they've been kind of opening and closing different resorts as time goes on. They just because of the cleaning and everything like that. They opened up the two new ones where Wet and Wild used to be on International Drive. So so they have a lot of different places that you can stay at. I had stayed at Royal Pacific. I wasn't really impressed staying on property at that time because it was during a time when the parks closed earlier, and I felt that I probably would have been better off just staying over at Disney and then going over to Universal for the day, just because of the evening time. Disney had Pleasure Island and a lot of fun, different things in Disney Springs, which at that time was downtown Disney and everything. But I would recommend, if you are a thrill seeker, yeah, you like the Harry Potter, it's probably fun to go and investigate. I'm not saying you have to do it every trip or every time because I don't go every trip. I did go last summer in 2019, right after Hagrid's opened, hoping to get on Hagrid's, but then it was too close to when they opened, and they were just having a disaster of a time trying to get that up and running and getting people through the lines and everything like that. So I haven't gotten the ride Hagrid's yet, so that's on my list to do when I finally do get down to Universal. Yes, the 3D Albert Hitchcock. I remember that, the Nickelodeon and everything like that. So with that, I always said I know my nephews. They were kind of young. Um, they really weren't daring boys. The one was tall enough, but the other one was still little. They did enjoy certain things when we were there, like they have an animal actor show. They liked running through the Jurassic Park playground area. Dr. Seuss. They both were tall enough for Spider Man. Um, and everything. And now they really like it because they love the Halloween Horror Nights. They would rather go down when that's going on and everything like that. because they enjoy all that type of stuff. So they do have different events. Um, I know, like when we go, I don't have an annual pass. I was planning on getting one for it, but since I lost the whole year of 2020, I wasn't, and I'm losing most of 2021 here. But probably eventually I'll plan on getting one, just because it would be worth it for me, even when I'm down there for a week or two, to really go at least once or twice, um, a trip for that. One of the reasons why I was going there a lot too was I was given complimentary tickets at times, so you can't pass up the free tickets. So that was always a plus. But if you're a thrill ride person, your kids are tall enough and they're daredevils and love the thrill rides. It's to me, it feels very worth it. If you have small kids, unless you have somebody that can watch them while you're riding, I mean, they do have baby swaps and stuff like that. I don't think I would pay for my kids to go there for what it costs, like little kids to go there for what it costs. But if you're someone who rides and stuff, I know they have some good restaurants and it's nice to walk around. It is very themed and everything on at least the islands of Adventure side. So you just have to decide for yourself. I'm not, I know most people, when you go to Orlando, you are going to Disney. I know some people now just take Universal vacations. If I did it, I would probably stay at Disney, or if I'm staying offsite, at one of the timeshare places, then I would go over for the day or two and do that. I always wanted to stay at one of the resorts again, just because I stayed at the resort when it was like wintertime, right around Christmas time, and the park closed early, and there really wasn't much to do. I mean, there is City Walk, um, and City Walk's made up of different private clubs and bars and restaurants and stuff like that. And I did go to like Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, and because I had a dinner ticket package with the movie theater, so I ended up doing that. But other than that, at that time, Disney still had their Pleasure Island going on. That after thinking about it and seeing after my trip, I said I wish I would have just stayed over at my Disney resort, because I was moving there anyway for the week trip that I was on, and just went to Pleasure Island and stuff for their evening entertainment. Now I know Disney no longer has that, and there's Disney Springs and stuff like that. But I've always found that except for the time being now, Disney's parks always seem to be open a little bit later than they are now. And even so, I wasn't finding myself going to Disney Springs as much and different times of the year. So so you just have to look at it however you want. If I went in the summertime, it would probably be worth it at Universal to stay at one of the resorts where you can get the express pass. Not all of the resorts get the express pass, but their top three resorts. If you're an annual pass holder, they sometimes have discounted rooms on those places, or sometimes they just have sales themselves. That's worth looking into. But I would do that more in the summertime, when the parks are open later, and you can kind of enjoy the resort, enjoy the parks, and get that express pass, especially if the parks are crowded and everything. I haven't either. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's fun to at least go once. I know for me, the Harry Potter, that's pretty incredible. That the design and everything. I mean, you feel like you're right there. I actually have the interactive wand that I bought on my last trip. It's fun to try to go and do that. That's the only problem is when it's crowded, everybody's there trying to play with that and everything. Is Orlando a lot of transplant people moving from other areas? Do you find it pretty ethnically mixed, or is there a lot of born and raised people in the Orlando area? It's a mixture, Garrett. I know a handful of people that are born and raised there. Mike Wheeler is someone who has been born and raised in Florida. There's a handful of streamers that I know that live in Orlando, and they've lived in Florida all their lives, and they moved to Orlando, or um, they were born close by to Orlando. So there are a lot of different YouTube people that I know that actually are from Florida and have been there. Now there are a lot of transplant people, which we know. I mean, look at Myers and the Mouse; they're new transplant people, and this our dreams when they finally get settled and everything. They're back and forth. Um, Mouse Talk just moved down there, a transplant. I know my cousins; they're actually from Pittsburgh. They moved there back in the 90s. They decided they were selling their house because where they lived, it was just getting too much for them. And the area is not as nice than when they were growing up in that area. And they decided, if we're going to live in an apartment, because they love going to Disney, and they figured, well, if we're going to live in an apartment, let's live in an apartment in Florida and buy Disney World. And they both went to work for Disney. So they're pretty much transplants, but they've been there for over 25, 26 years. So they decided to do that. um, I would have been a transplant if I would have stayed there. So I wasn't born there. I thought Jeff was born in the Magic Kingdom. He might have been. Who knows? And then somehow he magically appeared in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Michelle, was she born in Florida, Garrett? Because I know she was talking uh, about Florida, but I think maybe she went to school there. So, and they do have different community type people. Because I know when I welcome in Rob Fuzz and welcome in Glenn. I did see you, Glenn, again. Um, big Hispanic, Puerto Rican communities in the area. I know when I worked there, I was friends with a few different people from Puerto Rico and stuff. So there is a mixture of different people that live there. So okay, she went to college in Florida. I have a lot of friends that are on the Gulf Coast that moved to Florida. They live in Tampa and then down in Fort Myers. So, unfortunately, I always tell them I'll come to Fort Myers maybe for a day or two, but then I can't pass up not getting up to Disney World. So, it's very hard for me to kind of venture away from Orlando unless we had it planned or something. So, just because I enjoyed the theme parks, but I do know different areas to go around and everything like that. Because I sit there and think, you know what? Yeah, I'm welcome in Lori Jean Carlson. I mean, it's terrible to say, yeah, I'm jealous of all the people who are in Florida, but hey, they were talking about being at Universal and it being cold, and I was going to write back to Russ. I'd rather be in cold Universal than sitting in snow and at work here in Pittsburgh. So, so or being close by to a park after work and zipping to Epcot Center. I mean, I know in the summertime we have an amusement park here at Kennywood, but it's not the same. And there's times I go up there because I have a season pass for Kennywood, and I'll wander around, grab food to eat. They have great fresh cut fries, and and I'll see some of my friends and stuff like that. How many inches did you get in? We've probably got about 8 to 10. About 8 to 10. I was a little perturbed this morning because, well, actually last night because I ran into the Walmart. It wasn't snowing or anything. By the time I came back, it was like an inch on my car. I was like, geez, I didn't realize it was going to snow again. But luckily, it didn't take me as long to get my car cleaned off this morning than it did yesterday morning. Oh, wow. Yeah. Because I know the night that it started snowing or the day that it started snowing, I went off and cleaned off my car. That was Sunday, and a little bit thinking, okay, it won't be that much snow. And then I went back out and basically took another 4 inches off my car there. Yeah, I kind of figured, Rob, 4 times the shovel. Yep. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Yeah, I should go down to where you live and measure, see how much snow is piled up in your yard. But just wait until it's done, then pay someone to shovel. Yeah, usually my brother will go out. He'll go out like once, kind of clear it, and then he'll get it the next day and get it. So I honestly don't mind the snow once it's settled, and that what happens is it's the bitter coldness. But I do love winter winter sports. I like the snow tubing and skiing and stuff. But that first initial where it just keeps snowing and then it gets bitter cold is really the that's really the thing. Welcome in, Francisco. Welcome in. Yeah, I meant that I was going to go live, but then when I saw how much snow Stacy Rogers and Lady Jamers and them got, and they're on the eastern side, and they got pretty hammered because um, our Department of Motor Vehicles shut down out in Harrisburg, and also some of our branch companies shut down because of the bad weather. So they really got hammered out on the eastern side of Pennsylvania. So we kind of got hammered a little bit like Sunday and the Monday, but then not like what the eastern side of Pennsylvania got. So I'm not as like okay. So it wasn't as bad as what Stacy Rogers and them got when I seen her pictures. And my dog, forget it. You basically got to carry her outside to get her outside because she doesn't want any part of the snow. Okay, Rob, thank you for joining in. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I do like to thank Dean of the Live Place. He's also Dreamer's Empire, but he does also do a live stream on the Live Place, and he also has the website liveplace.com. He did a really great stream from the Mall of America. Can't remember if it was yesterday or Monday. Well, my days are running, even though it's only Wednesday. But go check out the Live Place and see. Okay, Rhonda, thank you for joining. When there's a snowstorm, how much snow do they typically anticipate? Usually in my area, it could go from 1 to 2 inches at times, and then there's other times where they could get up to 8 to 12, depending on where you live. I live in a southern portion of Pennsylvania, so my friends who live, say, um, there's an area called the North Hills of Pittsburgh. They could get a lot more snow than what I might get because it just depends on how it comes across the state of Pennsylvania. And when you go up north, they get a lot up that way too. So it could be a lot of different, um, depending on the area. Because there's times where my area might get hammered because it comes along the south and it doesn't hit the north as much. And then other times it'll come across the north. But we usually get whatever Ohio and Kentucky gets. So however that's coming. So any of my friends that are in Ohio or Indiana, we usually will get something of that nature. A little, sometimes we get that bitter cold, but we don't get what like New England. In very rare instances, we'll get something like what New England got. Um, I know, um, probably eh, it's probably been a few years, but over Super Bowl weekend one time, they had snow that was so piled up. I mean, when you were driving, it was like driving through snow tunnels after they plowed the roads. They didn't have anywhere to really put the snow whenever it got done snowing. So, and I know, I think at that time too, I had a trip for President's Day weekend down to Orlando. I was staying at my cousin's house, and I remember like, oh, I hope it's kind of gets cleared up a little bit because my trip was coming up real soon for it. And that way I could at least get out of the airport and everything, which I did because I did enjoy the trip. A lot of the Super Bowl winners, I can't remember who won the Super Bowl then, but I just remember a lot of the people that had their clothing on from the Super Bowl win. And that's one of the fun days too that I always wish um, that I could be at the Magic Kingdom for the Super Bowl winner parade or the MVP parade or whoever, because that's always fun to be there for all that activity and everything like that. So we'll see. Will it be the Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, or will somebody else get the honor of going down Main Street if they still do the Super Bowl parade down Main Street, USA? Also, one of the weird things is, talking about the Super Bowl, when I lived in Orlando, um, and I don't know if Mike Wheeler might know this or not, but I believe the Buffalo Bills stayed at the Dolphin Hotel because I remember the AFC Buffalo Bills banners hanging off of the Dolphin Hotel and everything when they played over in Tampa for their Super Bowl, which of course they didn't win. They lost their Super Bowls. But I remember that seeing all the banners and everything like that. So they were using the Dolphin Hotel as one of the Super Bowl team headquarters at that time when I worked down in at Disney World. I don't know if Mike was in Orlando then or would know that or not. So that was pretty interesting. I remember that. I didn't know. I'm sure they're probably staying in Tampa now. Okay. Um, the other housekeeping at 7 p.m. Check out Pete McDevitt. He'll be interviewing What in the World with Russ. So he'll be interviewing Russ Stapleton at 7 p.m. I know the Disney Nerders go on at 7 p.m. So it's going to be a pretty busy night because I did see a few others going on. But Pete McDevitt will be interviewing on his Creator Talk, What in the World with Russ. The Disney Nerd Herders at 7 p.m. At 8 p.m., I know D&G Explorers. I know One Stop Mouse goes on at a time. Also, at 9 p.m. is Monarch Moments, and then This and That Crew. So that's pretty much. And then at 10 p.m., I know the Griswold Family Vacay does his Wednesday night trivia night. There's also snow atop. Wow, we only get snow on the mountains on the Big Island, and sometimes there's blizzard conditions. Wow, that's hard to think about that. That you guys get snow out there, Elena. Because I always would think, oh, it's always nice there and everything like that. Okay, Shelly, see you in the chats. Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the Russ Peter reminder. Yes, you're welcome, Garrett. I was really young. I don't remember. I don't think I remember that. Okay, Mike. Yeah, I wasn't sure there. But we'll do one card of trivia, and then I'll probably go ahead and end the stream because I want to make sure I have all my devices so I can check out a couple of the streams this evening. Um, and everything. So we'll do one, maybe two cards, depending on the time frame. But I do appreciate you all stopping in this evening. If you haven't already done so, it is much appreciated that you hit that thumbs up button. It does help out the channel. And also check out all the different creators that are in the chat, like Monarch Moments, This Our Dreams, the Hitchhiking Bones. I know a lot of you are supporters. I know Shelly Starwalker went live the other evening talking about commercials, I believe, and she has done some other things late night. Mike Wheeler has a few things on his channel. Rob Fuzz, Rhonda Lee does some driving streams around the Atlanta area. Penguins Master has some various shorts and different things like that. And I know a lot of you are different supporters of various people. So here we go. Okay, Mike. But here we go. Who is the voice of Woody in Toy Story 3? Who is the voice of Woody in Toy Story 3? In a puddle in Atlanta that Rhonda has missed. And John Surfbum, welcome in, and you get the correct answer of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. So Surfbum gets it with Tom Hanks. What musician wrote the children's picture book, The English Roses? What musician wrote the children's picture book, The English Roses? Oh, wow, that's pretty cool, Elena. Not Tiny Tim. And Mike Wheeler gets it with Madonna. So Mike Wheeler gets it with Madonna. Good job, Mike. Ski down the volcano and surf when you hit the water. I've seen them where they, in the springtime in the mountains, they'll do like a spring fest and they'll ski down the mountain and then they'll have a little bit of a jump and there's a lake or something at the end of the run and they'll flip into the lake. And some of the resorts and stuff. We have a ski resort. It's probably about an hour and a half away from here. Well, there's actually two, but they're not like big mountain type of places that you would see up in Vermont or even out in Colorado, out west and everything. But they're pretty good if you want to. They would be more beginner, especially if you grew up out west or up in Vermont and everything like that. But it's always fun to go there. And sometimes they do like a spring fest at the end of the year and do different stunts, stuff like that. Okay, the next question. In 2016, what network aired the 4-episode sequel, Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life? In 2016, what network aired the 4-episode sequel, Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life? And Will of the Hitchhiking Bones gets it with Netflix. So way to go, Will. It is Netflix. It is Netflix. And there's all different types of ski places in and around Pennsylvania. In fact, I was surprised out near the Gettysburg battlefield areas. There's a place there that a lot of people go and ski out there. The Poconos area. A lot of my friends from New Jersey and stuff will venture over that way to ski and stuff. And they also have snow tubing and snowboarding. Only reason why I knew that. Now, I hear people talk about the different Netflix. Believe it or not, I do not have Netflix just because I've chosen to do the Disney Plus route and some other stuff like that. Okay, Mike Wheeler, thank you very much, and I will see you later. In 2009, what shortstop broke Lou Gehrig's record for most career hits with the New York Yankees? In 2009, what shortstop broke Lou Gehrig's record for the most career hits with the New York Yankees? Pure flex. And Surf Bum gets it with Derek Jeter. Surf Bum John gets it with Derek Jeter. It is Derek Jeter. And I will give Will the 0.2 for the correct spelling. I don't know the Yankees, only that a lot of them used to be Braves. Let's see if you know your magicians. I don't know if there's a magician or not, but some type of artist like this. What magician famously spent 24 hours shackled in a tank of water in Times Square? What magician? No, I'm sorry. What magician famously spent 24 hours shackled in a tank of water in Times Square? Houdini's a good answer, but it's not Harry Houdini. It's a more modern one. And if he was married to Katy Perry, I don't know. So I couldn't tell you that. Not Michael Blaine. And I'm surprised because I might have heard his name before, but I wouldn't have known the answer either. We'll see if anybody comes up with it. Not David Lane. And Will of Hitchhiking Bones gets it with Criss Angel. Criss Angel. It is Criss Angel. And his name is spelled Criss Angel. So Will comes the closest. Time for one more card. I know for a while though there was all kinds of yeah, I've never really heard of them either. But I know for a while there, I think even in Pittsburgh we had one of those. It might have been David Blaine that came to Pittsburgh and hung above the city and tried to do stuff like that. Okay, here we go. Who does Elijah Wood play in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Who does Elijah Wood play in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? And John gets it again with Frodo Baggins. Frodo Baggins. Way to go, John. Not Grogu. That's not Lord of the Rings. What Drake song was used in a T-Mobile advertisement airing during the Super Bowl in 2016? What Drake song was used in a T-Mobile advertisement airing during the Super Bowl in 2016? I would never get this because I can never remember. And Will of Hitchhiking Bones, the Hotline Bling. Wow, Will, way to go. It is the Hotline Bling. Yeah, I would have never gotten that. Yeah, it was a Drake song. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Get your fingers ready. Name the 3 Kardashian sisters on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Name the 3 Kardashian sisters on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Rhonda, you're close, but not exact. And Will, he actually got it. It's Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney. Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney. Way to go, Will. Yeah, you put Kylie. Otherwise, you would have gotten it. Okay, the last question here. Maybe one more. What website was launched in 2001 by Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger? Yeah, I hear you there, Will. What website was launched in 2001 by Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger? And I know people probably have used it at one time or another. Not Netscape or eBay, but it's an informational type of website. Oh man, you guys are all dancing around and you're going to be hitting yourself when I give the answer here. Ask Jeeves, that's a good one. Okay, it was Wikipedia.com. Wikipedia.com. It was Wikipedia.com. Okay, one more question and then I will end the stream because I see Pete is going live. So go check out Russ Stapleton. What TV series coined the phrase, "The tribe has spoken"? Will was too smart. What TV series coined the phrase, "The tribe has spoken"? And Rhonda comes in with it with Survivor. So welcome to the board, Rhonda. And Will was the big winner of the day with 5 points. So congratulations, Will, on the quick trivia. It was Survivor. Yeah, I remember seeing the F Troop in repeats there. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Oh, you're welcome. I thought I'd just throw it in there to get a little bit more time. I did see that Pete McDevitt went live. Will or Russ, what in the world is Russ is on for Creator Talk? I know the Disney Nerd Herders go on too at 7 p.m. So try and check out all the streams. And I do thank everyone for joining this evening. So let the adventures begin, and I will see you in the chat. Have a great night, everyone, and bye.